Good evening, everybody. My name's Andre Timmermanis. For my sins, I'm a Town of Cambridge councillor, and for an even bigger sin, somewhere along the line, I'm a community JDAP member. So please get on your bike and scrap away, because it's a job I don't enjoy. Every time I sit on a JDAP committee, I see people's lives being damaged.
Explain what JDAP is for someone.
It's Joint Development Assessment Panels, sorry, the common name, just DAP. I see industry insiders marking their own homework. Every time the consultants come in, they've got the pat, they actually set up, I've seen it, they set up for the professional members to turn themselves inside out to justify overlooking all of the policies that have been put in place with your permission and your consultation. They can wipe that away and then refer to some nebulous higher level state instrument that doesn't quite tell them exactly what they do, so they interpret that to mean I can do whatever I damn well like. Now, those involved in planning will be familiar with the concept of due regard. There's documents that you have to give due regard to. They're your local planning policies that your councillors and officers and the community, with lots of consultation and effort, put in place to guide how they want their communities to look. Well, that's turned into giving it complete disregard. I see time and time again professional members on JDAPs or DAPs look at them and go, I've thought about it, but I think the building looks cool, so we're going to approve it. And that literally is the level of assessment that goes on at JDAP level. Now, I've got in trouble for saying all of those things. I'm holding a letter from the planning department threatening all sorts of sanctions if I say this stuff again, because they're naughty words. And I looked at it and just go, well, it's just the truth. I did disagree with one of the early speakers. He said the system's not broken. It's not broken, it's performing exactly as designed. And I'll tell you right now, it has been a 20-year program by the development industry in this state to introduce the most institutionally corrupt part of our society, which is the planning framework in WA. Never before, and certainly not in a proper free market democratic society, have I seen a system so explicitly designed to transfer wealth and amenity from one group of people to other people to profit from without compensation. Now, when I've grown up and you do civics at school and you go to uni and you do politics, you learn that, if you take something of people and give them nothing in return, we've got different words for that. There's robbery, there's theft, there's extortion, there's all sorts of words, but in WA we call that planning. What pains me the most, and in the interests of disclosure, I am a lifelong member of the Liberal Party, is they actually did it. This system is a creation of the Liberal Party, and I'm glad to see Dr. Honey and Bill Marmion here as the local member. We did it. So I'm reluctant to blame the minister, the current minister, for what she's doing, because that circumstances was created for her. But of course, every political system requires those who hold authority to act in good faith and to understand the unwritten limits to their authority and power. Now, I know, and I'm just a councillor, but at some level you've been given some authority by the community to do things on their behalf. But it's not given to you because you're awesome. It's not given to you because you're awesome. It's not given to you because you're somehow cooler than everybody else or know better. It's given to you on trust to use very carefully and very conservatively. Now, perhaps that's a lesson in civics that the current minister might want to take note of, because what I've heard tonight in some of those decisions is just off the top of their head, I can do it, so I will decision making. That's not why we give ministers in our system a discretion. It's not to do whatever you damn well like. And I think colleagues David and Bill would agree, you hold it on trust. So the job of everyone here today is to hold those decision makers accountable. Forget the planning bureaucrats and those people, they will never be accountable. They're deliberately hidden in a black box. I mean, I'll just do a quick vox pop here. Who here remembered voting for the very significant changes to the R codes in WA? Did you remember a party campaigning on that as part of their platform? Do you remember? No? No. Oh, see, some people don't even know. So about 10 years ago, there was a massive change to the R codes. So everyone sort of understood what their planning system was, and you didn't have to have a degree in planning to know what you could do on your block of land, or the person next door could. But about 10 years ago, there was a change to the R codes, and now there's all this nebulous definitions, and R30 doesn't mean R30 anymore. It could mean R20, or it could mean R50. People don't know this. It was never put to the people as a campaign policy. Neither was the DAP system. That was just worked out by Lino Iacamella and the Property Council. John Day, yep, you beauty, we'll get this in. Close the councils out. Sorry, I do apologise. Close the council out with the DAP system. It was a deliberate exercise so they could get your amenity, your wealth, and literally, in some cases, your backyards. And I did notice on some of the papers the idea that we have to get rid of this idea of NIMBYs. It was introduced as a pejorative. I think in the old days, if people didn't want a major power line or something through their area, they were NIMBYs, big social infrastructure. But the development industry in WA has turned that into an insult for ordinary men and women and families in WA who are literally talking about their backyard. And you might get a little bit angry about these white shoe shuffler developers who want to steal it, either directly or vicariously through the planning instruments. This is the single biggest issue in WA, my friends. Bill, David, this is actually the biggest issue because it affects where people live, it affects their communities, it affects their love of their communities and what they look like, and they are not playthings for ministers who are the person of the moment. Communities are built over decades, and I've been given the whistle, and I'm happy to stop, but this is a serious fight that you're in. What's happened to Nedlands is disgraceful. It's happened elsewhere. It will happen in many other places. I just call upon the Liberal Party to have a really good look at its platform and break this bipartisan lockout of the community, because every single working person in WA trying to pay their house off and enjoy their community is affected the same way. It's not just about here now, it's about everywhere.